A fat drop of rain fell past the tip of his nose and another off the brim of his hat. Grumbling to himself about the state of the roads, Robert rushed to raise his umbrella before him and slid it open. A startled exclamation made him hastily move the umbrella upward. "I beg your pardon." The apology died upon his lips when his eyes took in the woman before him, her large golden brown eyes rendered large by her surprise. One red-gloved hand rested over her chest, as though to calm her heart. Deep brown curls peeked out from beneath her emerald-green bonnet. "Penny." The childhood name fell from his lips as soft as a prayer. "What are you doing here?" Her eyes narrowed and her lips parted as though she wanted to correct the familiarity, but swiftly the expression cleared and her bright smile appeared. "Robert, is that you? Oh, I cannot believe it." She held out the same hand that had been pressed over her heart. He took it in his own, a tingle dancing up his fingers as they came in contact with hers, despite both of them wearing gloves. He bowed over her hand, careful to keep the umbrella from assaulting her a second time. "It is wonderful to see you." He straightened after she curtsied. "Whatever are you doing in Annesbury? I never thought to see you here again." Her gaze dropped to the ground. "My aunt has come to visit an old school friend. Since this is where my brothers and I spent our childhood, she invited us to come too. We are staying with Mr. and Mrs. George Brodie." She peered up at him from beneath the brim of her bonnet. "I am glad to find you here. I did not know whether you were still in the neighbourhood. I heard about your father's passing. I am sorry for that, Robert." "Thank you." Robert's father had passed away in the spring, after fighting a long illness that had left him often confused and weak. Robert's heart clenched at the memory of his father's last days, of how hopeless and grey things had been. He cleared his throat and forced a smile upon his face. "How long will you visit?" Penny accepted the change of topic gracefully, raising her head and presenting him with a brighter beam. "A fortnight. We will be here through January 7th. "Ah, all 12 days of Christmas." Robert shifted his weight from one foot to the other, wishing it had actually started raining. The drops he felt before had been alone in their journey from above, so now he appeared somewhat foolish. Closing the umbrella might only draw attention to that fact, however, so he kept it above him. "I will make a point of visiting. I imagine there are many in the neighbourhood who will be happy to renew their acquaintance with you." "I doubt many remember me." Her hand fluttered by her side, as though to brush away the idea of anyone having missed her. But Robert had missed her. He thought of her every time he passed the pond where they had skipped rocks, and when he glimpsed her favourite marigolds growing in a neighbour's garden, or when he saw the small scar on the palm of his hand from where he'd slipped and fallen out of a tree they had climbed together. That meant he thought of her at least once a day. Since she and her brothers had gone to be raised by her aunt and uncle, he had not stopped wondering how she had fared. He had often thought of writing, but never worked up the courage. What did a boy of 17 have to write to a girl of 15? A girl who had lost her parents and her home. To have her standing before him again, more beautiful than he remembered, made Robert's heart swell up so that it nearly choked him. A childhood fondness should not affect him in such a way. "I will be at the Earl of Annesbury's famous Christmas ball tomorrow evening," she informed him when he had been quiet too long. Robert forced himself to speak, to keep his tone light. "Wonderful. My brother and I received invitations as well." He ought to ask her to dance, secure her hand for the supper dance, or a waltz, or an entire set. But how presumptuous of him to think she would wish such a thing when they had not seen each other in years. "We will see one another tomorrow evening, then." If she did not think him a dolt before, she certainly would after. A mischievous light kindled in her eyes, a light he knew well from their childhood adventures together. "We had better, Mr. Ellsworth. When we do, I expect you to ask me to dance." She curtsied, and he bowed instinctively, putting an end to their conversation. A scent of cinnamon teased his nose as she walked around him. Her pink lips curved upwards as though she held a secret. She was probably laughing at him. Then she was gone,